Hey, this is Andy with Rocket City Pinball. Today I'm going to show you a quick and easy mod for Dungeons & Dragons. This is the double scoring light corrector. This is pretty much identical to a mod that I made for Jaws. The cast again light on Jaws was not very well lit, and so I made this mod to safely allow you to improve the lighting there. So we got the same situation on D&D. Now on Jaws they used a milky insert, so at least on this one they used one that was more, slightly more translucent. But the problem still remains that they have a really, really large insert here, and they only have one tiny LED lighting it up on a tiny little light board underneath. It's kind of hard to see in videos. Videos don't accurately show what the lighting really looks like. So take a look at your game, and you'll notice that this one, for example, is nice and bright because it's a small insert, has the light right underneath it, where this one is not as bright, kind of dim. So my mod will give you the ability to either bring this up in brightness, and if you want to keep it white, or I will offer several different colors. And as I've experimented with the different colors, it really kind of makes a difference to have a different color here, because it really gets your attention when you have double scoring lit, because that's kind of important. And I'll also have one version which has a slight twinkle to it, which is kind of fun too. So I'll have the demonstration of all the different colors at the end of the video, but let me explain what you're going to get and the installation. So you'll get a kit that looks like this, all put together. You'll have a Comet Post light in here and a special mount that I've designed, as well as a set of alligator clips. And then here is a cool little mount. This is for the light board. This is to allow you to safely install this mod without potentially shorting out these alligator clips. I know a lot of people don't like using alligator clips for mods, because of the potential to short them out or not stay connected. So I've designed this cool little board holder to allow you to slide the board inside and safely clip on and make it impossible for you to short it. So it's a cool little invention here. So all you have to do is first you'll have to lift up the playfield on your game. Now if you haven't lifted up the playfield on your game yet, you may remember you'll have some balls inside the dragon. The dragon setup will allow you to lift the playfield to the service position without having to get those balls out. They'll stay retained. But I do recommend you take the balls, the remaining balls, out of the game here. So take the balls out. If you have a cool little pinball corral from Space Coast Pinball, you can drop them in there to have them stored for safekeeping. So take the balls out, turn the power off to your game, and lift the playfield up. So typically you'll have 3 balls stored in the dragon, and then the other 5 will be in the trough. So see, there you go, I got 5 out. I decided to show you, because you're going to hear balls moving around when you lift up this playfield. Those are the balls that are inside the dragon. I figured I would just demonstrate that for you, just so you're not scared when you go do it yourself. So you could hear them rattling around, but they're all safely contained down in the trough for the dragon here. Alright, so now that we've got this up, I'm going to turn my power off because I didn't. Alright, and we're going to look for, you're over on the right side of the game, and this is it right here. So you can see, look at the size of this insert here compared to, see these nice little small ones that are taken care of, like that one up there. So because this insert is so big, that's why the light doesn't fill it all that well, because there's one tiny LED on the top of this board here. So all you need to do this work is get a Phillips head screwdriver or a 1/4-inch nut driver, and you're going to take this little screw off first. Now with that disconnected, when you flip it over, you see there it is, that tiny LED, that little thing is supposed to light up that entire insert, and that's why this doesn't really work well. So in mine, you're going to have 4 LEDs, and it's going to really fill that hole quite nicely with a lot of light. Okay, so your next thing you have to do, and now that you have this board loose, is you have to bring in those little green things that I had. Now I give you 2 because I have seen these boards with the wires soldered from either direction on different games and different locations. So I don't know if these are all going to be the same, so I'm sending you both clips, or both little housing adapters, just in case yours goes from one way or the other. So the whole idea is you want to slide that board into, you can look at my little piece here, I say wires go one side, so your wires should come out that way, and your clips should be attached the other way, so you need to find which one is the proper orientation to slide that on. So this is going to be it. In my case, it's the one labeled GIB. Alright, so you see this slot should slide over this board. I can't do, well, I can kind of do it. I was going to say I can't do it with one hand, but you see it slides over so that those solder pads go inside those openings as you slide it in. Now when you slide it in there, you'll see it's going to be close to the edge. You want to get a skinny, like a screwdriver or something, and just push that board all the way in so it's almost flush on this side. You can see I got a little gap right there. You're going to push that all the way in. I can't do that with two hands, so give me just a moment. Sorry, I guess what I meant to say was I can do it with two hands, but I only had one because I'm holding the camera. So now you can see I've pushed that little board in and it's all the way into the housing. Okay, so my wires come out the one side and the other side is open. Now I've got these little ridges, and it's part of my design here because when you put your alligator clips on, one clip goes right here and the other one goes in this little valley right in here, so you can't accidentally bump them into each other. So the lights that we're using don't care about orientation of the wires, so you can take them either way. You want to make sure you get as much depth on your clips as you can, and you're going to see if I can do this with one hand. You're basically going to feed it right on there and you're going to push it all the way in, because the whole idea is you want the clip to touch the solder pad on that board that's way in there. So once again, I kind of need two hands for this, so stand by. Okay, so as you can see, I've got both clips on there. They're basically all the way to the back of the jaws. It's kind of hard to see inside there, but the idea is that they reach all the way inside and they touch the solder pad. But again, as I mentioned, as you can see, since they're separated by this little wall here, you can't accidentally touch them together. So you have a nice, safe, secure installation. Okay, so next step is the light that you have selected is in this little housing here. So all you have to do is get that screw that you took out, and you're going to position this piece with the little tab right in the hole, and you can center it up in the opening where the insert goes. Okay, so that's in place now, and you can see I even moved it a little bit. It's not perfectly centered. I even moved it a little bit closer to the what is the upper side of the insert, because if you recall, the lower half of the insert is kind of covered by a decal anyway, so that's where more of the light wants to be. So it's a good setup just like that. Now, next step is you've got this setup that you got kind of hanging down here. I've included a zip tie in your kit, so you can just pull this over into this bundle and zip tie it over here so it just doesn't hang loose. So I've zip tied it over here to this bundle, and so everything's out of the way, nothing's taut. So now we are good to go. So now we're going to lower the play field and power back up and test it out and see how it looks. Now, if you go and you test it out and you find that the light doesn't light up, you can come in here and do kind of a visual check, because you'll be able to see the LED that's on here kind of trying to shine through this piece of plastic. Sorry, I got a nasty cut on my thumb there a couple weeks ago. So you'll see that light shining through, so that'll confirm that this is on, and if this light isn't on, then that means you don't have a good connection here, so you just may need to reseat these connectors and reach, as far as you can in there, because I've had some folks try to use this and they don't have the clip down far enough to actually touch the solder pad inside. Okay, so let's lower the play field and check it out. Alright, so perfect example. I did not have my clips seated well enough, so I went to go back into test mode to see what's going on. You can see this light is not on, but you can see that the light on the board is on, so something is just not right. So, oh, there you go. So see, I just made a slightly better connection with my alligator clip, and now it's working. So now let's lower it and check it out. Okay, there we go. So now you can see how bright and cleanly lit the double scoring light is. Let's go into all lights. You can take a look how it looks with everything. So you can see this is why I chose green here, because you can see there's not really a lot of lights that show up green. I know, we've got RGB lighting in these, but green is not used very often, so I decided that worked for me. But whatever your personal preference is, like I said, I'll have demonstrations of each color at the end of this video. So that's the double scoring light corrector for Dungeons and Dragons. I'll have a lot of other mods on the way. I'm also one of the fortunate ones who got my hands on Cairo Labs Tiny's Tavern. It's a beautiful, beautiful mod. Definitely recommend. And I also have my 3D start buttons. I've got 3D coin reject buttons, which will be available in several different colors. It's kind of cool. Red and black dragon on there. And I don't have it in yet, but my next mod I'm going to make is an updated light for the shield. So, RocketCityPinball.com. The rest of the video will be demonstration of the different colors. Alright, so here's a video of how double scoring will look with the upgrade to the blue and white flasher.
Double scoring has begun.
Fits that area pretty well because it's a wintry scene, so blue and white seems to work. Of course, videos are really hard to use to capture what this lighting really looks like in real life, but gives you an idea. flickers right before the mode ends. Alright, here's how it will look with the green light in there.
Double scoring!
So, nice and bright now. Again, hard to truly capture on video, but it's definitely much more prominent. And something I like about the green is that there's not a lot of other green lights in the playfield, so it does make it stand out when you've got double scoring going. It's very obvious. So that's great. Alright, here's how it will look with orange.
Double scoring has begun.
So that works pretty well because it ties in with this if you're going to keep that there. And it ties in nicely with the orange back here as well. So, and it's bright, gets your attention. Okay, and here's what it looks like with blue.
Double scoring!
Let's make the most of it.
Alright, here's what it looks like with white.
Double scoring has begun.
So as you can see, much brighter now. If you like that color scheme, because the secret door and the hidden temple lights are both white, then you and they're all related. So if you like to keep that color scheme, then white's a good option. But there you go, much brighter than it was before. And here it is in purple.
Double scoring!
So purple looks pretty nice too, because there's a little bit of purplish hue in some of this artwork around it. It's kind of unusual color. Okay, here's how it will look with red.